John Mateer getting healthier, ready to get back into a rhythm as the Oklahoma Sooners get ready to take on the South Carolina Gamecocks.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to Locked On Sooners, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase over at Game Time. He's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. I'm John Williams of Sooners Wire and USA Today Sports. And on today's show, we're going to talk about Jacob Curry's commitment that happened late last week. We had so much going on getting ready for OU Texas. Haven't even gotten a chance to dissect that big-time pledge for the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll discuss the defense. Did they take a step back against Texas?
Yeah.
We'll discuss that here in the second segment. But first, let's talk about John Mateer because he's met with the media on Monday evening and talked about how he's a full go for practice this week and he's ready to get back into a rhythm, Jay.
Yeah, he talked about how he was a full go going into the Texas game. He wasn't injured. He wasn't hurting. And they asked him about the blood and everything. And he said that a scab that he had rubbed off, and that's where the bleeding came. They just patched it up and he went back like normal. So there was no stitches that some people were thinking was stitches and things of that nature. And I believe him. I believe there probably was a scab.
Yeah,
he was just saying that if not practicing was, he practiced some. The biggest thing was his eyes. He just wasn't where he needed to be visibly. And you could tell it kind of costed him.
Yeah, I mean, Texas made him uncomfortable. His hand might have been uncomfortable simply because 17 days
First
after
time.
surgery,
Right.
Really getting out there, game action, getting hit. There were several times Texas defenders landed on that side of the body. And you're like, ugh. But sutures probably were removed by that time. Typically, they'll come out within 7 to 10 days. Hi, I'm a critical care ICU nurse for 20 years. That's where I'm basing this information on. I don't know that that's the case, but I imagine that the sutures were already out. And yes, probably had some scab that had formed, but it was clear that your boy, John Mateer, was just not comfortable with what he was seeing down the field, with how he was handling the pressure. He looked like a quarterback that was facing a big-time defense for the first time. Michigan's defense is pretty good. Auburn's defense is pretty good. Are they as good as Texas's defense? No. But they're pretty good. I mean, I think they're good defenses. We saw what they did to Texas A&M, what Auburn did to Texas A&M a few weeks back. We saw what Auburn did to Georgia just this past weekend. They're a pretty good defense. But John Mateer was definitely caught off guard and kept off balance by what Pete Kwiatkowski was trying to do to him.
Yeah, PK had him thinking a lot more than he should. And he even said it himself. He said that I need to take a breath. It was mainly the decision making. I need to not do too much. And when I went back and looked at some of it, like even some people post on social media, there were wide open dudes there. Like Arbuckle had this figured out in the second quarter, and John just was not seeing it. And I'm kind of surprised they didn't find a way to get his eyes to look away the safety and then continue to look at those backsides, because Satania was just floating. But at the same time, they were applying some pressure. So to me, they were doing a really good job of just making things difficult. And that's exactly what you kind of expect from a really good defense. And so I need him to, he needs to bounce back on the road against South Carolina, who's a solid defense, not as good as Texas. I don't even know if they're as good as Michigan or even Auburn at this point, but they're solid. I mean, Dylan Stewart's going to be a menace in this game. So he's going to have to go out there and show us that, he can bounce back. And I think that will help him just overall with his morale, with the fan base and the team. But I think the team is all behind him. I think that they saw that as a situation that was more of a holistic problem. And they're not concerned about him going forward. But like you said, he's a full go. He was a full go before, right when he got the approval. And I guess it was Thursday is what BV said. And so since that's the case, John, I just want him to go out there and play loose like he was beginning of the season. He's going to have to carry the team on offense right now as we try to figure out the run game. Just give me some numbers, dog. Go out there and ball. Play the way, let the game come to you and ball out. South Carolina's a great opportunity. If they show out in this game and they really open the playbook up a little bit more and, try to take advantage of the weaknesses in that South Carolina secondary, he's got a chance to really, like I said, win back all of the fans.
Well, and I don't think the fans are out on John Mateer necessarily. Did he have a bad game? Yeah, he had a bad game. I mean, he has as many touchdown passes as he does interceptions right now. He has 6 and 6. Not great.
John, let's think about it this way. We got fans freaking out the fact that we lost a game and everybody's expectation was 9 and 3.
No, listen, and I don't want to sit there and talk like it's not a bad loss or that it's
it's a bad loss. You're right.
It's a bad loss, but I don't think the reaction from fans is necessarily unreasonable. It's not that they lost, it's the way that they lost that people are frustrated about. And John Mateer didn't play well. But I don't think I don't think that means that everybody's like, oh man, this guy's terrible. I just think it's like, hey, the ball's in your court. You got to go do something a little bit more than that. You're expected to play better than that. Were the Baker Mayfield comparisons a little out of pocket? Yeah, we tried to caution against some of that.
Yeah.
But he's going to bounce back. He's going to play better than that. I think there is more criticism yes, there's criticism coming out of this game for John Mateer, but I don't think everybody's ready to run him out of town.
I don't know. My mentions have been a little bit.
My timeline's looking a little bit different than yours. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, my mentions are a little full, John, right now. But at the same time, you're right. I mean, because truth be told, your logical fans, even the ones that watch us on a regular basis and get in our comment section, not the trolls. I'm talking about you real everydayers. Y'all get it. It was a bad game. We're flushing it and we're moving forward. And the expectation was for a lot of people 10-2 and 9-3. And to be honest, for most, this was one of the games that they marked as being a loss. And I think the way they lost thing, I get it. I think the only reason why the way they lost is what's upsetting so many people is because of how bad Texas played in the Florida game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't think that Texas would adjust. When in all actuality, that should have been our mindset of they're going to change their entire game plan to try to be prepared for another really good defense. And we'll talk about that in the next segment. But besides that, no one should think about running John Mateer out. Everyone should consider that John Mateer is going to be that dude when he settles himself down. I just need him to get his eyes better because he struggled with his eyes all season long so far.
He has, and he just has to rediscover some of that confidence. He's played good football at different times. And again, we don't need him to put forth a Herculean effort to carry the whole football team like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts had to do from 2016 to 2019. We don't need him to do that because we've got a defense. Jay,
you're right in that, but
I'm 100% right, Jay.
I don't know, man. I give you 62%.
You don't need him to do everything. You need him to not turn the football over. You need him to make the throws that are there. You need him to drive the ball and get the team downfield into scoring range.
Mm-hmm. And he also needs to run the ball.
50 points a game.
You need him. You don't need him to score 50 points, but you need him to run the ball as well. You need him to manipulate the defense so that he can run the ball himself because we don't have a run game.
Quarterback.
Yeah, and running back because that's kind of what he is right now.
Season for this team to go win games,
not to win games, but to go where this team wants to go. Yes, he does. That to me, I put it this way. We've always complained about how the Baker, Kyler, even Hurts era was all wasted because we didn't even have a semblance of a defense. Mm-hmm. Well, you add that with this defense. That's championship caliber. And the unfortunate thing for us both, John, is we all know the standards of this fan base is championship caliber. So I'm going to have to say it again. He needs to have a Heisman-type play for us to be at the standard that all the fans are expecting.
Man, I guess, but I still think that if they get good quarterback play, if he's, got a 2 touchdowns per game average for the season over the final 6 games of the year, that's going to be good enough for Oklahoma to win a lot of football games and to have a chance at making the college football playoff.
If we figure out some sort of run game, then I can agree with you. But until that, we need Heisman.
Well, they got to give the running backs the ball for them to figure out the run game, Jay.
I mean, we kind of are if you look at the carries outside of Texas.
Before we get to the defense, I'll go through it.
No. Save it for tomorrow. We're gonna both dig into the data, and we're gonna argue about the run game going into tomorrow's show. It's already noted. I've already noted.
Point, and we'll tease it, and I'll share more tomorrow. My point is they're not giving it enough of an opportunity to actually work. Coming up, did the defense take a step backwards against Texas? We'll discuss coming up next year on Locked On Sooners. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, which is exciting, but getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe you serve or your serveware needs a refresh, or the guest room could use new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home holiday ready, from Christmas trees and wreaths to bedding, cookware, and outdoor inflatables. It's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and budget. And with free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. I know my wife is always looking for doormats to kind of go with the season and different decorations on the inside. You know, we'll have stuff on the outside as well to make ourselves holiday ready as well. And we love how easy it is to find pieces that fit our style and budget. Everything was in one place, and checkout was a breeze. So get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you own like $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Like right now, I'm looking at Oklahoma. They're still sitting here as a 4.5-point favorite on the road at William Bryce Stadium against South Carolina. That's a big bet that I'm thinking I would jump all over, because it's weird for a team to get dominated like that and end up being a favorite this early. So whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel's make the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Jay and I are going to have a fun time fighting tomorrow. So make sure you're tuned in for that, our Wednesday show. So, Jay, did the defense take a step backwards against Texas?
I think the defense took a step back in being in execution, but overall, no. Actually, statistically, they're still the top defense in the country by the numbers.
It's crazy.
It's the weirdest and the darndest thing. I wouldn't have expected it, but total yards per game in the country, we're number 1 at 211. We're still sitting there at passing game, number 2 in the country at 126. Because remember, Arch only got 166 yards passing in this game. He didn't just dominate passing. He was hitting the passes he needed to hit, but he didn't dominate like people thought they did. When you looked at the score itself, I mean, 13-6 was really what the score was. It kind of reminded me of that 12-0 game that we played against Vince Young and them. It was the defenses were the ones doing all the work. The biggest problem for Oklahoma is they had 2 big busts that hurt them, was in that big drive. And then at the end of that big drive, when they gave up the touchdown because the defenders forgot that they had to cover 3 dudes. Like, I mean, you know, you look over there, there's 3 guys, you talk to each other. Everybody needs to go ahead. And if you see somebody running close to you, you probably should follow them just in case. But we didn't do that. It happens, and the players have already said they need to figure out the execution component of it. But scoring defense, we are also, we're number 2 right behind Ohio State, right? You know, rushing defense, we are number 10 in the country. So we're still giving up less than 100 yards per game on average, which quite frankly is still a good thing for us. And we still lead the country in tackles for loss. So we're doing the stuff that we're supposed to do. We've just got to make sure that the offense, as we said at the beginning of the season, contributes to the defense's work in the game.
Yeah. Oklahoma held Texas to under 4 yards per carry. Oklahoma,
that's huge.
Yeah. I mean, Oklahoma held Texas to under 10 yards per completion. Arch averaged like less than 7 yards per pass attempt. So they were trying to get the ball out quick, often early, and not let Arch be under
4
pressure a lot. Averaged under 5 yards per play. Like, that's a pretty solid defensive effort. Was it good enough to win the game? It wasn't, unfortunately, but
it's supposed to, though, John.
Yes, absolutely right. It should have been good enough to win the game. That's the thing I talked about in the live show in the post game was your defense gives up 16. You said 13, but I mean, that's probably due to a short yard or a short field goal that Texas got, but technically they gave up 16 points. So that should be more than enough.
Speaking of that number, the game should have finished at 13-6 because I don't know if you saw this, but there was a tweet that went out today that actually John Hoover tweeted it out. Shout out to him. He tweeted out that Brent Venables mentioned that the team sent a nice letter to the SEC in regards to the situation. And guess what the SEC said? Yeah, that was definitely a couple blocks in the back. You were right. Yeah. So I am waiting for a very sternly written statement from the SEC about the officials missing that so that we can go ahead and have that balanced out, right? Like, I mean, again, I am not the type to complain about the officiating. I let everyone else do that for me, mainly because I am in the mindset of don't put yourself in a situation where you got to rely on those people that you know ain't reliable.
Yeah.
Right. It's like having that friend that, you call them to pick you up from the airport and they always somehow sleep, but they know that they need to pick you up or they know they need to do something. They just always, oh, my bad. Give me a minute. Let me get there. They show up, but they're always late. And it's like, so what makes you think they're going to be on time this time? Like, why rely on it? So I try my hardest not to rely. I like my teams to do what they can to make sure the officials can't affect the game overall. Like, I get why Auburn and them are upset about our game as well as the Georgia game. I mean, it just keeps happening. But at the same time, you had 32 minutes to win the game. You had 35 plus minutes to win in the Oklahoma game. That usually you should be able to close out the game. If that situation destroys your entire morale for an entire game, that's more so something look internally. And for us, it was at the end of the game they got that punt return. That's when you're like, well, we're donezy. We was already done, and that's when we was like, yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up.
Yeah, that one was the nail in the coffin for sure. It wasn't going to impact it because your offense wasn't going to be able to do anything. Nope. I mean, even when you had to score because you were down 23-6, you still couldn't find a score. You got into Texas's side of the field and you couldn't find it. But on the defense, I still like where this defense is at. I need them to get a little bit better in coverage because, Gentry Williams, Eli Bowen allowed receptions on every one of their targets, according to Pro Football Focus. You got to get better. You got to make some competitive plays, some contested plays where you're, creating pass breakups, interceptions, incompletions, one way or the other. You've got to. You can't just give up receptions on every single one of your targets and then expect to win. That's just not going to work. So it's a defense that has to iron some things out. You're going to have a tough test against Lenora Sellers, who is one of the more dynamic dual threat quarterbacks in college football. And if you can't contain him, you're going to have a hard time winning. But I like the defense to bounce back, similar to what Texas did after their loss to Florida. I expect the Oklahoma defense to bounce back and have a better game. But they didn't even have a bad game. Again, it wasn't good enough to win because you didn't win the game, but it should have been good enough to win because they played winning football for the most part. You only give up 16 points, and that should be enough. But again, they made Steve Sarkisian respect them too.
Yeah, he made him work for it.
Yeah.
And that's what's important, is the fact that you did make them work for it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to put together a whole new game plan to try to move things forward. And we'll see if Texas is quote unquote back, or if they continue to struggle later on. I mean, Florida was out there was able to do what they did to them, and then guess what happened to Florida next week? Forgot how to play football. So we don't think Billy Napier won't be around that much longer.
Well,
so
I mean, they had to play Texas A&M, and that Texas A&M team is pretty good, and Texas will have to play them. So Texas gets Kentucky this week, and then they get some pretty tough tests. What is it? Vandy, and then who is it after?
So they got Vandy, Mississippi State.
They get Kentucky, and then it's a road game against a ranked team, and then it's Vandy at home. And I had it in my head.
Here it is. They're traveling to Kentucky, and then they travel to Mississippi State back-to-back weeks. Yeah. Ugh, that's stinky. Then Vanderbilt comes to town right before their bye, and then they have Georgia, and they go to Athens for the Georgia game, and then they host Arkansas and Texas A&M to wrap it up. So, that one, to me, they got 5 straight SEC games. That Mississippi State game is going to be an interesting one, and that Vanderbilt one on November 1st. Ooh, buddy, we'll all be tuned in for that one.
Yeah, that one could be a lot of fun to watch. So I think we're both in agreement here that the defense is still in good shape. Got some things they got to clean up. Got to be a little bit more efficient in getting ready for a play, because teams are going to try and use that quick game against you if you're not prepared. So we'll see how they respond moving forward.
Yeah, I would like them to stop screwing up these efficiency numbers. That would actually make me very happy.
That's right.
Because it's funny because Bill Conley's SP Plus over on ESPN, we're still number 6 on his numbers, right? As far as efficiency and the way that we play. The Stat of War guy, Parker Fleming, put out, did you really lose that bad? And it was this much. That was the margin. It wasn't a domination.
There was not a gap there.
It was really just defense on defense, and one team was able to make the explosive play to win it. And it's okay. When you, in hindsight, you're like, okay, but the problem is still, I get why everybody's upset. Not gaslighting, I get it. You got to score a touchdown. And we had opportunities to, and we didn't. That's on us.
Every time you got in Texas side of the field, you came up short, except for a couple field goals, and that was about it. The Oklahoma Sooners did get something positive, though, in the last week. Jacob Curry, 4-star linebacker commit, chose the Oklahoma Sooners. We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
Oh, yeah, college football is back, and I can't be more excited. You got the tailgates, the rivalries, the energy in the stands. There's nothing like it. But let's be real. Actually getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. Endless queues, hidden feeds. I mean, prices that jump as soon as I check out. Oh, my goodness, it's ridiculous. So that's one thing I love about the Game Time app. It gives you the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with no surprises. What you see is what you pay. Like, for example, pulling this up, I can see some amazing deals. I'm looking at a game. Ooh, $30? Not bad to go see a Colorado game. May have to jump on a plane and go check them out there. But it's really easy to use. They've got the awesome zone deals, too. You pick your section, and Game Time picks the seats, and you'll save big every time. So take the guesswork out of buying your college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use our code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, it's promo code LOCKEDCOLLEGE for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go, download Game Time today.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And if you haven't done it, please go hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. We're 50 subscribers away from 15,000. So please go hit that subscribe button. Do your boys a favor and show us a little love there.
Help the people.
The Oklahoma Sooners, they picked up a 4-star linebacker commitment from Jacob Curry. This one was a big one. He was a player that was initially committed to Northwestern, but saw his profile really skyrocket over the last few months. Ended up with offers with Ohio State and Auburn, Florida State, among others, but ultimately chooses the Oklahoma Sooners, Jay.
Yeah, the fascinating thing is that He is from. I had it pulled up a second ago. Yeah, he's from Florida. He
Florida.
did a visit to Ohio State, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and then on Friday he commits to Oklahoma. It was Friday. It shocked the mess out of me. I was like, where'd this come from? I didn't think that this was going to go down. But
Yeah.
like you mentioned, 4-star on Rivals. He's a composite 4-star over at 247, top 450 player in the country, and solid linebacker at 6'1", 200 pounds. And he's kind of built like you would expect a BV linebacker to be. I think the best part about him is being a Florida boy. That is something that, BV love. He recruits out of Florida like crazy. And I know that was like the one thing a lot of fans were saying they wanted the three opponents for one of them to beat Florida specifically because of recruiting, right? Totally understand that. The recruiting grounds are fertile, blah, blah, blah. We get dudes out of there all the time. So I don't
All the
think we
time.
actually need that at all. But no, I really liked his tape. He likes to hit people and he wraps up, something that we're seeing improvements on. We didn't see it this past week, unfortunately, but we are improving in that a lot better. We're not missing as many tackles as we were in years past. So I think he'd be a really good addition to this linebacker room, and he'll have time to even develop in the system because I think we're going to have a good amount of linebackers come back next season.
It would not surprise me. Brent Venables has done a good job at retaining veterans and retaining veteran talent. And what I like is that even though they've added a few linebackers in this one, they haven't like settled on that. They've just continued to add good players where they feel like they can add good players. Curry is one of several guys joining Bo Jandreau, the kid out of Arkansas. Ja'Cory Smith at linebacker as well. So that's 3 linebackers in this class. And depending on how you judge a guy like Nico Jandreau, who's kind of a cheetah style safety, you've got a lot of really fast, physical guys that can play that linebacker or that cheetah role that is going to create some really interesting opportunities for you down the road. And you had to replenish your linebacker depth because even if, Kobe and Kip come back next year, that's probably still your top 4. But then beyond that, beyond 2026, you're looking at Sammy and Owen Heineke. And then what? James Nesta and, Marcus James. I mean, guys that don't have a lot of experience at this point. So you need to replenish your linebacker depth as you move forward because Brent Venables plays a lot of linebackers. He plays a lot of guys, and you got to have at least 4 guys to rotate between the Mike and the Will spots and have some guys to play cheetah as well.
Yeah, and the good thing is you've got some pretty solid ones behind there, right? You still got Taylor Hine. You've got Marcus James, who I think he's seen action one game. Yeah. He's still, 6'3" linebacker. He's a pretty 6'3", 220 coming in as a true freshman. It's pretty ridiculous if you really think about it. But you add him with James Nesta, who has bulked up a lot. I wonder if his arm is still throwing in the 90s. I mean, as big as he is, he's probably throwing 105. It's kind of crazy, but I digress. We're going to be nice and sizey at the linebacker spot. And so adding a player like Jacob Curry, who likes to run around, kind of reminds you of Kip, if you really think about it. He's a dude that can fill the hole. He's good at tackling, but he's very aware and does a good job with situational awareness. And that's going to be important in order for this defense to continue to flourish long term. And so, I like the pickup that got your boy excited.
It's a linebacker's dream defense because you've got a good defensive line to play behind, and that makes the linebackers' jobs so much easier when you're not having to fight off guards and centers and tackles to go make tackles. It makes your life a whole lot easier. Do you think that there's anything else that we could see Oklahoma do on the recruiting trail in the 2026 class?
Let me see. 26 class, that gives us number what?
We're at 21, maybe?
We had 21 commits. I was looking for the number. I couldn't see it for the life of me in front of me. So 21 commits. I think we'll get at least 2 more. I think we're going to probably go for another receiver. I could see us going for, I don't think we need any more. We don't need any more interior guys or edges. We've got 2 tight ends, so that whole room is going to get refreshed. We may get us one more lineman. I actually think we'll probably go for a safety. I think we probably should get one more safety to go along, and probably maybe. I don't think we go for another corner. We may get another corner, but I could totally see us get another safety. We probably need one more safety, and definitely someone on the offensive line. So I'm thinking 23 in this class. If we do 25, that means we're probably gonna be cleaning up some of them rooms.
Yeah. For some reason, I kind of feel like there's going to be some processing happening after this year, regardless of how it goes.
One more running back, too. We need one more running back. We kind of do. We kind of need one more running back.
Also, shout out to Caden Jones for his historic day. My goodness, dude. What, 8 touchdowns and over 400 yards rushing?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like Oklahoma, and he just recommitted to, this time he chose Kansas.
Yeah, he just switched it. Yeah.
So shout out to him. But dude, what a week. That's crazy. I would like for Oklahoma to circle back on that one, considering it's an Oklahoma legacy and all that. Doesn't seem like they will, but what a weekend that kid had.
Yeah. He put up some work. So okay, Prep and Ninja agenda is still there. I expect for us to
fight the good fight with you, Jay, on this one.
I mean, we're gonna okay prep agenda is gonna happen, but I do think we go after one more running back, and it won't be an okay prep. We really like the 27 kids. Yeah. Granted, you see, we've already committed, got 2 of them committed, so you can tell that that's the class, that's the one that they believe is going to be the really good one. So we'll see if they're right, but I could totally see us going after another running back. Yeah, I can see us going after another running back for this class too. Maybe another lineman, a running back. Probably a safety. I think are the 3 that's the safest, because the cornerback room, we got 3 dudes, we got 3 safeties, the trio, but they're going to be right there at their next year. They'll be draft eligible, but they'll be around for one more year. Yeah, we're starting to get full. We actually got competitive depth. Got to say, that's a good thing.
Now they just got to go win some games. Hey, Jonathan Hatton, is that a name you think Oklahoma will still try to push for? And
go. Spend the money. Don't care what he's asking for. You have him and Tory Blaylock together and X-Rob. Oh, gosh. They'll figure it out. Get him. Go. Pay it.
Yeah.
I love Jonathan Hatton.
Currently committed to Texas A&M. At one point in time was committed to Oklahoma. He is definitely one of those dudes that if you're going to lean into from a revenue sharing and NIL perspective, that's one of those guys that really might be worth the time and the effort. And that's going to be today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Like our episode tomorrow, where you can see Jay and I fight with each other about if Oklahoma is doing enough in the run game or giving it enough of a chance to actually work. We'll discuss that on tomorrow's episode, among many other great Oklahoma things. Start getting you ready for Oklahoma's matchup with South Carolina. So again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. Boomer
Sooner. You're totally going to lose, though, John. Just know that.
Never lost.